is round one of the NFL playoffs. You're watching the Unintangibles. I've brought my co-host in, Mo. We're going to discuss not only week one of the playoffs, but we're going to do a best ball draft for the entire playoff bracket and give our opinions. Mo, we're going to start with the NFC. We'll go Chicago against the Eagles. How do you see that going? And then do you see either of those teams doing a little bit of damage in the playoffs?
That's a good question. I think that if you've been watching the show all year, you know that I've not been terribly convinced with Mitch Trubisky. But I've also not been convinced by the Eagles. And now that the Eagles they've backdoored their way into the playoffs and they have Foles again. And I mean, their Super Bowl last year was improbable. If they do any damage this year, it'll be improbable, but they have all the same people in place. So why not? Right. From a fantasy perspective, though, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know who I would be excited about on either team here.
Yeah, I'm not too high fantasy-wise. If we're gonna do a best ball draft, I mean, do you see the Eagles or the Bears maybe getting through to the conference finals? Is that a possibility, or you don't see that?
It's a possibility. I think that. I think it's unlikely, though. I wouldn't bet on either team to win 2 games.
Okay, agreed. Agreed.
It's possible Chicago, because they'll probably have home field advantage twice. They won't the second time. I guess nobody will, right? But like Chicago, they have home field advantage, and then I think they'll lose to, they would play the Rams next, right? Probably, and I don't think they'd beat them. Philadelphia, maybe, but again, I might just think that because they're defending Super Bowl champions, but I don't know. I don't know.
Do you feel the same way about the Cowboys and Seahawks? Do you see like a good game, but maybe those teams aren't going to go too far?
I feel a little bit better about both of those teams, actually. Seattle, especially just because they've been there before. Russell Wilson, you got to manage just to get it done. I think Dallas, there's lots of reasons to doubt Dallas. They could easily lose to Seattle. But at the same time, they have a good defense. Zeke is Zeke. Cooper, he doesn't do it every game, but he can, I can see Dallas winning a game with their defense and winning a game because Cooper goes off, let's say, or Zeke goes off, So, they've already beaten New Orleans. They'd have to do it in New Orleans, so that'd be tough. But Dallas, I can see with a little bit more of a silver lining to it, and Seattle as well. So, I don't like either of those teams as much as I like going chalk, I guess, New Orleans and Los Angeles. But, if somebody is going to upset either of those two, I think it's going to come from this game,
I can see that possibly. I mean, they're both good. They're good football teams. They play, they play well. They have good, Russell Wilson's there. Zeke is a factor. Okay, so that's the NFC part on the first week here. We'll head over to the AFC. We may have I don't know if it's the most boring game of the week. It's Indy at Houston. I personally like the Colts in this game on the road. The only reason is because Houston thrives on their defense, and Luck was the least sacked quarterback this season, I think. And I think they're going to make sure that Luck is staying upright. And he did well against the Texans this year. Do you agree with my?
Yeah, no, I think so, because it's too bad that we're agreeing so much so far. But I would say as far as like an upset special, if you didn't want to pick Seattle over Dallas, let's say, I think this would be a pretty ready-made option because Indianapolis, they have a good defense. As much as I like Deshaun Watson, Andrew Luck is still Andrew Luck, and Deshaun Watson hasn't surpassed him yet, I don't think. Houston is, I don't really know what to make of Houston. Like, they've won 9 games in a row at one point, but no, and still wasn't convincing to people. I think that, it's a boring division, so it's too bad that we have 2 AFC South teams playing each other. But I do think that if I were to pick an upset, I think I could lean Indianapolis, but that doesn't change the fact that Houston can still win this game and then maybe give somebody else a challenge the next round. It's possible.
I did see a crazy stat, I think on Roto World or some, I forget who it was. They said that Deshaun Watson has never lost a game by more than a touchdown since his
Wow.
high school career.
Wow. That's impressive, man. I mean, like that's something. That's not enough necessarily, but like, because they can lose this game by a touchdown, right? But like, I do like Watson because it seems like there's a million stats like that about him, you know. And it's like it's one of those things where on their own they're all just cherry pick stats that can mean nothing and can be manipulated into something. But as a whole, it's like, remember, you and me, we're comedians, we're performers. I think I definitely have a bias towards like performance, like how that is its own thing. And I think that like the idea of like it's not about raising your level for a big game, it's about not letting the moment get to you. And I think that there is such a thing as clutch in that regard. It's not that you become superhuman unlike yourself, it's that it doesn't matter how big the stakes are, you're used to it. And you know, Deshaun Watson's already played in a lot of big games, and he's done well the whole time. And you know, it hasn't yet translated, but it could. You know, so this will be a big test for him. I think either way, this matchup will be good for him, whether or not they win or lose. But you know, Watson is. I really like Watson. That's all I have to say.
Okay. So draw a line in the sand here. Who wins Bears Eagles first of all before we get to the last game of the weekend?
I'll say Bears.
Sorry?
I'll say Bears.
Okay. You have the Bears. How about the Seahawks Cowboys?
A little tougher. I will say, have they played this year?
No, I don't think they did.
No, I don't think they did. That's right.
I'm pretty sure Ezekiel played the Seahawks in his first ever game. I remember as a rookie, he played in the preseason, and he went right after the Legion of Boom. I remember that pretty well, actually.
Okay, yeah. And you know what I might be thinking of is it was the Seahawks that broke Tony Romo's collarbone for good. So I don't know. Maybe this is a revenge game. I don't know. I want to say the Cowboys because I don't think they're smoke and mirrors. I think they're a legit like division winner. It's hard to bet against Seattle when they do this every year. You know. I'll say Seattle.
Okay, interesting. Okay, the third game, the AFC, the boring game. I chose the Colts personally. Do you like the Texans in that game?
No, I think I'll take the Colts. But I'll be gladly proven wrong by Watson. But I think the Colts do it.
Okay, and finally, the most interesting game, the Eric Weddle revenge game, part 2. Chiefs, Chargers, Ravens. I think most fans are going to be watching this game. This is the sexy game of the week. We know the Ravens beat the Chargers in LA. They made it look pretty good a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now it's in Baltimore. How do you see this game going down, Mo?
This is by far the most interesting game of the weekend because I think both of these teams are kind of a chic pick to make the Super Bowl, if you think about it. The Chargers have been really good all year on both sides of the ball. And maybe if they get 2 chances at playing Baltimore, then they can beat them the second time. But at the same time, Baltimore, again, to a lesser degree than Seattle, but like to some degree, Baltimore does this, man. They're great at home. They have good defense. They have a novel way of playing right now. I'm a little bit worried about. So I heard this on the Bill Simmons podcast, but he and Ryan Russillo were talking about. Ryan Russillo made a point about Lamar Jackson, which is at the beginning of the year, there are people out there saying Lamar Jackson should be a wide receiver, and it's sort of an old world bigoted way of viewing him. And then the counter reaction to that has been to like elevate Lamar Jackson's play to more than it has been. And I'm somewhere in the middle, which is to say, I think Lamar Jackson still is a work in progress as a passer, but as a weapon, he's already pretty good, and he is better than Flacco. And the thing is, if the Ravens were, 10-6, 9-7, whatever they were, and won their division and had Joe Flacco as their quarterback, people would be viewing them as a 10-6, 9-7 division winning team that has a good defense and yada, yada, yada. They wouldn't be questioning suddenly, Like they would know Joe Flacco's okay, but you can win with an okay quarterback. Suddenly you have an unconventional quarterback who is more okay at the very least, but a unique weapon. It's like I think they can win, man. I think the Ravens can go for a run, but I think Ravens Chargers. I think how you feel about this game determines how we're going to pick our team.
Yeah, man. I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
And I think, the Ravens like to slow the game down. They don't like to give too many possessions to the other team. I don't see the Chargers being afraid of the Ravens at all. And I think the first game where they lost was a good lesson for them in terms of like maybe how to play this team. But I think a lot of fans are probably cheering for the Ravens, but a lot of fans also probably would like to see the Chargers finally do something. So
I think Phillip Rivers is going to get a lot of love this year as just like a bandwagon guy to root for. And, if there's any part of you that thinks that the results of these games are somewhat steered by the powers that be because they want results and they want viewership and stuff like that, then I think you have to think that it's Phillip Rivers' year, and so I feel like if you believe in that, then you got to pick the Chargers here.
The Sympathy Bowl. We'll call it the Sympathy Bowl this game.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, my brain is going with the Ravens. My heart is going with the Chargers.
Yeah. That's fair. I think I'm thinking the opposite. I think my brain says Chargers, my heart says Ravens.
Nice, I love it.
It's not even my heart that says Ravens. It's more like my lower back that says the Ravens. My trick knee says the Ravens. Like it's just one of those things where it's like, hey, the weather report says the Chargers are going to win, but my knee is acting up. That means it's going to rain. Okay,
so you're saying your brain is telling you the Chargers are going to win?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say we're going to enter a best ball pretty soon. Mm-hmm. We have to draft 10 players total. We have to maybe, if teams that are playing this week and the teams who win this week, they're playing a minimum of 2 games.
Yeah.
So the teams that have buys, they are playing a minimum of 1 game, but could play a maximum of 3 games, obviously.
Right.
So do you see, first of all, which team would you like to target altogether in a best ball for playoff teams? Rams, Chiefs, those 2 teams, the Saints?
Probably. That's a good question. I think the Saints are going to go to the Super Bowl for the NFC.
Okay.
So I suppose them. The problem then, though, is, well, there's 2 running backs that kind of cannibalize each other. And you have a superstar wide receiver who's kind of faded a little bit. He's still great, but like he hasn't been leaned on so heavily because they have 2 running backs who cannibalize each other. So it's kind of tough. Who do you pick? Or do you go with the quarterback? Maybe.
So do you see Chiefs and Saints in the finals? Is that what you're saying? For putting words in your mouth?
It's possible. I think again, if you believe that storylines somehow come to fruition and it's not an accident, then I think Saints Chargers would be a fun Super Bowl because you'd have Drew Brees against the team that discarded him for Phillip Rivers, and then meanwhile Brees is sitting here with a Super Bowl and Rivers doesn't have one. I don't know. Although for that storyline to really work out, then Brees would have to beat the Chargers.
I love that storyline. I think it's too much to ask for the Chargers to go on the road 2 times in a row against the Ravens and then the Chiefs possibly in the second round.
Yeah.
I think it's too much to ask, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? You've been right, man, all along. Fantasy-wise, you were high on Mahomes. I think our divisional previews, I think you had the Chiefs winning the division.
Mm-hmm.
And they've proven that defense doesn't matter because they still finished number 1 in the AFC.
Yeah.
So that said, because of the bye, because the Patriots are no longer who they are, I think the Chiefs and the Saints are the Super Bowl teams this year.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. And I think at least from a best ball fantasy perspective, I think those are the teams that you probably want to lean on because it's almost like. I think your goal is to try to pick players from teams that you think will get 2 games, right? And a 3rd game is bonus. But Or I don't know. Maybe you tell me. I've never picked a playoff best ball team before. What advice do you have?
Okay, so what are the maximum number of games a team can play is 4? No, you can play
Right. Yeah. A wildcard round team can play 4 games.
play 4 games. So unless we take a couple Chargers later in the draft, we could do that. I mean, so okay, we've agreed that we like the Saints.
Yeah.
I think
so. The thing that makes the Ravens part of this a little bit less complicated is the only fantasy asset I would consider on the Ravens is Lamar Jackson, right? And so that's if you think the Ravens are going to make a run, then maybe you'd pick Jackson. Otherwise, I don't think there's anybody on the Ravens that you pick. Would you?
No, I wouldn't mind picking Andrew Luck for some reason. So if the Colts win this week, who do they play next week? What seed are they? Let me see here.
Yeah, let me see too. So the Colts are the 6th seed, so they would play the Chiefs next.
Yeah, that's tough. That could be a shootout, though.
It could be a shootout, though, right? So if Luck can win one game and then lose a shootout, that's still pretty good. That's still pretty good. And then I don't think the Colts are going to make the Super Bowl, though.
No, I agree. Okay, so
here are my thoughts. You tell me what you think of this. I would say, because if you go position by position, you probably want to pick a running back that you think will go deep into the playoffs, right? Because they're guys that get you 20 points every week.
Right.
And then maybe receivers, you take a chance on somebody who, does that make sense?
It does. Unless we'd be joining a 6-team league.
Okay.
We each draft 10 players, so 60 players are taken. So I'm not opposed. I mean, do you see Pat Mahomes doing what he did in the regular season in the playoffs?
No, not to the same degree.
Okay.
Not from a fantasy perspective. No, I don't think so.
Okay. So how about
were you leading to like?
I'm just asking. I don't feel strongly about that.
Okay, because I was going to say, were you setting up then the idea of drafting Mahomes early?
Yes. Yeah, I was going to ask you basically. But what I could do is, okay, so you see the rules right here? Do you see that?
Yeah. 1 QB, 1 running back. Okay.
So all the games, they start on tomorrow. 30 seconds. This is the money. We'll see what happens. But
playing for huge money, guys.
Yeah, exactly. This is fun, basically. So, we pick a total of 10, and this is, the positions, how we would go. So we could have a total of 3 running backs.
That'd be good.
A total of 3 RBs on our team.
So I would think then that a good way to go about it maybe would be, let's say if we pick, let's say 4 teams that we like.
Okay.
And go best available player from among those teams for our first 4 or 5 picks, and then the other 5 we just go Hail Mary players, right? Like, so like a guy like Amari Cooper, it could be something like where if Dallas were to beat Seattle, Cooper probably does something, right? Even if he gets you a 40 and a touchdown, you'll take that, and then in the next game he could have 188 yards or something like that. And all of a sudden, hey, surprise, I got a bunch of points from Amari Cooper, and that could be the difference, right? Or compare that to like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
I like what you're saying. Okay, so I think we all agree that the Chargers-Ravens game may yield a team that can go further than most.
Yeah.
What I want to ask from you now is, do you think that game will be high scoring? Probably not, right?
I think it'll be like, remember when we talked about the Chiefs-Ravens game? And it was like, it won't be as high scoring as the Chiefs game, but it'll be higher scoring than a Ravens game. Yeah. I think it will be like that too.
Okay.
Apparently, I think the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl. I don't know. Apparently, I think they're the best team. No, man.
Let's have a little fun. Let's go in here. It does go quickly. So here, let's see if we can do this on the spot right here.
Here's what we'll do. How about this? Since it's got to be quick, we don't have much time to debate. When it comes up to our spot and I like this person, you like that person, one of us just has to insist.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's really it. And let's say if both of us insist, then pick one of them, and then the next time we both insist, pick the other guy's pick.
Make a case. Okay, so we're going in.
Okay. Let's rock and roll.
Let's see here. So we are the fourth. We're the fourth overall. Do you see us on the screen here?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, these are the top 4 players. We're guaranteed one of these 4 players. Do you like any of these 4 while we wait? The draft is starting in 35 seconds.
I would say yeah. I mean, I might want Hill over Gurley.
Okay, interesting.
No, that's crazy. No, I don't. I don't know why I thought that. Forget I said that.
0.5 PPR, so I'm not opposed.
Yeah. Okay, 0.5 PPR. I think it's more that because I think that the Chiefs are more likely to win 2 games than the Rams are. That's it.
Okay, so we might be aiming for Tyreek Hill right here. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe. Well, what do you think? If it's Gurley or Hill, who would you want?
Oh man, I don't mind Gurley personally.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm being wild and crazy. You know me.
I love it.
Right.
I always went first. I should say that we finished in the money in a best ball earlier this year. So,
right.
We're good. And I have to congratulate you on winning our league, Mo.
Yes, thank you. It's crazy. All right, so Breeze just went. If Kamara falls to us, I'd rather Kamara.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay. Well, this is fun. No, this can be fun.
So on the subject of our league, so I know we haven't had an episode for a while. That's because the fantasy finals wrapped up and everybody just got launched right into the holidays, including me. It's been a whirlwind of travel and family and mostly all good things. I don't want to complain about anything.
Sorry, but sorry to break you up there. So Kamara went on auto draft, and now we can have a quick discussion. I think it's between Hill and Gurley, no?
Yeah, it's between Hill and Gurley. You're probably right to go with Gurley.
I think the safe money is on Gurley, man.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna be a little crazy after. I may try and convince you to draft Travis Kelce.
Yeah. So it's been such a whirlwind, the holidays, that I didn't even really have time to enjoy winning our league championship. It's like it took all this, and now I'm just like, I won. Amazing,
For some reason, we are not the 4th pick. We're I don't know what just happened there. Oh no, we were. It just register it. Sorry, buddy.
No problem.
So we're coming back around here in 3 picks.
Yeah.
You want to have a look at these are the top selections. I can go in other positions.
I mean, if Hill falls to us, that'd be great. If not,
it's our turn. So
Damian Williams, maybe?
It's not a bad situation. We'd have 2 pretty solid running backs, no?
Yeah.
That's probably a good place to start, I think.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
I think so.
Because I'm worried about Brady. I'm worried about Goff.
I'm going to take Damian Williams.
All right.
I can here. I don't know what's happening.
Do you think the sharing the screen is slowing down your computer or something?
I don't think so. Let me see what happens here, because you can see I'm trying to select it. Wow. Okay, we did not. This is weird. We got him.
Okay.
This is weird, by the way. Okay.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Maybe I'll turn him. I'll turn this on my phone, and maybe I'll draft through my phone or something. We'll see.
Okay. Well, either way, I just like the fact that we can do this and we can talk.
Okay. Yeah. So I cut you off before you were talking about your. Hold on a sec. These things go quickly, by the way.
Yeah, they do.
Because of travel and the holidays and stuff.
Yeah,
we had a chance to really celebrate your victory, but I do want to take some small credit for your championship.
Absolutely, I was going to get to that next. So the day of the championship. So I've had Todd Gurley on my team all year, and of course he's been hurt at the worst time. And at the time, so what I did was I looked on the ESPN app, and I guess I had the rankings sorted by projected score for that week or something like that. Something that I knew. So I didn't see CJ Anderson there. So I thought he'd already been picked up because there are 4 teams that were playing for something. So I thought he was already gone. So I'm like, I'm screwed. I don't have Gurley. I have other flex-worthy guys, but they all played before Gurley. I might be screwed, right? And then Jeff reminded me that, no, C.J. Anderson's still out there. And then I went and I got him just in time, and C.J. Anderson went off and helped me with the
championship. Buddy. Yeah, I just had a feeling he was your better option than Deshaun Hamilton, who had himself a game. It's our pick, Mo. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have 2 great running backs.
Yeah.
We look at Rivers. We could look at Luck. Looks like the quarterbacks are coming up here. Lamar Jackson.
I like Luck, and I like Watson.
I like both of those guys.
Let's go Luck, because we think Indianapolis is going to win. So I say
Luck. We do. Okay. Let's do it, buddy.
Yeah, that's good. And who knows if Watson? I guess you don't want to pick two guys in the same game unless you think.
So we're coming up in 4 picks.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a look at maybe some receivers, or how do you want to? We could look at another running back because we could have 2 flexes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's not bad. Not bad. I think it's amazing that Brady dropped the way he did. I guess everybody feels about him the way we do.
Pretty much. He got selected though.
He got selected, but like Rivers is still there. I feel like we should get Rivers and Lamar Jackson.
So we selected Luck, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we take another quarterback? It's now our pick. Okay. So we don't have any receivers yet.
You want to go Cooks?
We could go Cooks. We could go Keenan Allen. I don't mind going Cooks. Tyler Lockett.
Let's do Cooks then.
Cooks may be the safest pick, no?
And I think he's a difference maker of the Rams receivers out there.
Okay, so there we go.
Yeah.
Now the question is, do we take another quarterback to be safe?
I think we should. We took the quarterback of a 6 seed.
Yeah. Okay. So let me see here. So Trubisky, Rivers, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott. These are the options.
I mean, I'm a lunatic. I'd take Jackson, but I think we can wait to take Jackson.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you, by the way.
Yeah. Are there any more running backs and receivers out there that we should
think about? Definitely. So we have Brandon Cooks as our only receiver.
Well, how about Ertz?
Sorry?
How about Zach Ertz?
I'm not opposed to Zach Ertz, although if he loses this week, we got nothing else going on in the tight end department.
Okay, fair enough. But it's wide receiver or tight end, right?
It is wide receiver or tight end, and it's our pick. Okay, so who do we see lasting a little while here? We got T.Y. Hilton.
I mean, if we like Luck, shouldn't we stack him with Hilton?
We might as well, go big or go home, no?
Yeah, we're trying to win. We're not trying to place.
Yeah, we are trying to win. Okay. Done.
And to go back to finish the story, Jeff saved my season because Jeff saw that C.J. Anderson was out there when I didn't. And, he alerted me to it, and I was able to pick him up and get him in my lineup. And C.J. Anderson had a Todd Gurley-sized day, and I won.
Yeah, I felt good about it. And then he just tore it up the next week, too. 17 to boot. It was crazy.
So funny, too, because I had him. I drafted him and stashed him on my bench in my home league all year, and he did nothing for me. And then he even got cut, and I didn't even notice him getting cut. I was, trying to dangle him in trade offers to people. I didn't even realize, there was an hour where I was like, any interest in C.J. Anderson? C.J. Anderson? And it was I hadn't heard the news yet that he got cut. And I'm like, oh, the C.J. Anderson pick was a total bust. And then he ended up being a difference maker in the end.
Here we go. So do we take another quarterback? Because we only have Luck. They're dwindling here. I see we got someone. Lamar?
I say Lamar, but.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah, okay.
So we're really banking on the Chargers to lose.
Yeah. And here's part of the reason why I like Jackson is, sure, he's a rookie in the playoffs, and Phillip Rivers is a veteran and stuff like that. But, Lamar Jackson's already been pretty mistake prone, and they've been able to survive that. And it hasn't affected their ability to win games or his ability to produce from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah, it's so scary.
Yeah, it's you'll take the 2 or 3 turnovers from him.
So here we have a good team here. Let's just let people know what we've done if anyone's watching. So that's a pretty good start right there. Luck, Early Cooks, Damian, Ty, and Lamar Jackson.
Pretty good. I think so.
4 more spots. I guess we hit obviously some running backs, wide receivers. Because end is not mandatory. So who do you like from this little list here? I mean,
Tyler Lockett's not bad.
Tyler Lockett is there.
Yeah.
Raekwon Smith is there
as well.
Alshon, Allen Robinson. Any of these names?
Is there any part of you that's interested in Gronk? Like he'll have a playoff resurgence?
Not really.
No.
It's our pick. Okay. So who interests you here? Ebron, hilarious.
Ebron. I mean, Ebron scores a lot of points. No, we can't go too heavy on Colts. I would say, I guess Raekwon Smith.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to him.
Yeah.
Nice. We kind of think alike here, no?
I think so. Again, I think the worst thing about this show, other than the production quality and the fact that we disappeared for 2 weeks, is that we agree with each other too much.
We're on point.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, Gronk is still there. So we don't have a ton of action for this week, by the way, on our team. Are we worried about that?
Well, I mean, we still have a few more picks left to
start in the hole. Yeah. So players playing this week: Lamar Jackson, Ty, and Andrew Luck. I don't want to start too deep. No.
Right.
Do we maybe grab a Mike Williams or
possibly? I think if we were to grab any more receivers, it'd be somewhere in that range. Like
here we go. It's our pick.
Okay.
There you go. These are the options. I think we should pick someone that's playing this week. No, is that crazy?
Well, I mean, it's best ball, right? So why does it matter all that much?
Yeah. Okay.
Because look at how many people you have to scroll past to get to Mike Williams.
Running out of time here.
How do you feel about Eckler?
Okay, I'm all right with Eckler.
This is another running back. He's
part of the game plan. He's
diversifying our Lamar Jackson pick a little bit.
I read that he's going to play. So
yeah. Okay.
Not sure what
if they'll let us.
If they'll let us, exactly. See what happens here.
Boy, I really need to shave.
Oh, they took Sammy Watkins for us. That's too bad.
Oh, that is too bad. Just funny because I've been stumping for Sammy Watkins all year. Now that I've given up on him.
That's too bad. Okay. So look, I mean, he could turn into something. He's probably going to show up in the playoffs. No.
I mean, or he'll hurt his foot and
Okay. 2 more players.
Okay.
That's disappointing. That's a malfunction on the machine, by the way. But Eckler will be around.
Should we? So we don't need a tight end, right?
No, we don't need a tight end.
Okay, we have a bunch of wide receivers and tight ends, which I think is pretty good. We're going to try to grab another running back and another quarterback if we can.
We have 2 quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, we do have 2 quarterbacks.
You know who I kind of like is Mike Williams.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned him earlier. Let's do it.
I don't mind him. Are you cool with that option?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. He scores touchdowns. He's kind of been a clutch guy.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get him, we'll try and get him.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. I'm gonna try and grab him on my phone. Hold on a sec. Let's make sure. Make sure there's no more errors here.
Yeah.
Live.
Look at Cordero Patterson, man. It's our pick.
Oh, it's our pick. Mike Williams. Let's try it again. There we go. We got it.
There you go. But yeah, look at Cordero Patterson. 47 overall. Good for him.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. All right, I'm going to turn off this annoying app. All right, so we are down to our last pick in 3. So who do you want as a random shot here? I mean, Eckler is there.
Let's see. Is there any team that we don't have any piece of that maybe we'd want?
We have no Eagles. Golden Tate. I'm like, yeah, the Lions are out. Sorry.
If it's best ball, should we have both Williams receivers in San Diego because they sort of trade week to week?
They do. Oh, but if they exit,
right? Yeah.
Michael
Gallup, man, he could be somebody.
CJ Anderson. I mean, he could.
I mean, let's not get cute.
Sorry, buddy. We have 5 seconds here. We didn't get the update. How about Eckler? Should we just take Eckler?
That's no different than getting Tyrell Williams. That's the only thing.
We're running out of time, though. I grabbed. Okay, here we go. Tyrell Williams. Let's see if they grabbed him. This is not cool. Machine malfunctions, by the way. We should report this to draft.
I
know. Okay.
Did we get him? No, we got Cordero Patterson.
Oh wow. Okay.
Whatever, man.
Whatever, dude. Whatever.
For all I know, those 2 malfunction picks could end up being the ones that made the difference.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
Cordero Patterson and Sammy Watkins are going to blow up in the playoffs.
And we had no Patriots. We should have one Patriot. No, it's
yeah, because that's the thing. We've been very dismissive of the Patriots, which means they're probably going back to the Super Bowl.
It's not a terrible team.
No, it's good.
It's a good little team.
I think so.
So hold on a sec. I'll go back to our faces here for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we did okay. That was that. Thanks.
It was frantic, but it was fun.
All right. Well, good luck to us, and we will see what yields from this week, and we will hopefully talk to you next week.
Yeah, and also everyone just want to say apologies for the delay in putting up a new episode. Like I said, life has just been too much. It's all good things, but there's too much of it. But we're going to ride it out for the playoffs here. We're going to have some fun. We're going to figure out ways to talk about football and get it out to you guys. So.
Yeah, exactly. We thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.